I'm Josh, I'm 27, currently live in Tunbridge. I'm a personal trainer, I'm a keen rock climber, I'm also a below knee amputee and I've broken my back in 2 places. I'd been working in the outdoor industry for a good few years. I'd started as a trainee instructor and I'd worked my way right up to being the senior instructor at this outdoor centre. I loved it, great job, really enjoyed it. It was a nice day, fairly standard day really. I'd given everyone their jobs, I'd organised other members of staff and I had some time. And part of my job as senior instructor was to do the high-level maintenance work. And we had an activity called a parafan, which is kind of a simulated parachute landing. So you go at the top of the climbing tower, you clip onto a cable, you step off, and the cable is attached to a fan, which creates wind resistance, which gives you a nice soft landing. And that cable needed replacing, so part of my job was to replace it. I had done it far more times than I can remember. It was a very easy job, really. So I went up, I put a new cable on, did all of the checks that I'm meant to do. It's quite a nice day. It was nice being at the top of the tower in the sun. I then clipped into the cable, and you don't test the parafan as such. You just use it and make sure it recalls properly, because everything's tested in the factory where the cables are made, supposedly. So I stepped off. It's amazing how such a short chunk of time can create such a lot of memories.
We didn't realise how bad it was. And then we heard he'd been airlifted to Royal London. But when we got there, we thought he was going to die. In the resus department, there were people being revived next to him, and he was just laying there. And he didn't look like Josh. Josh is strong and able to do everything, and Josh was just lying there. He couldn't focus, he couldn't move, he was flat on the bed, blood in cast, not able to move his legs. And yeah, I've never been so scared or felt like it's just not what you expect to happen at 20 years old. You feel like your life game. This is very, very different.
I've been on quite a journey with Josh and Morgan, just because they were quite isolated, because Josh was away for quite a long time from everyone because he had to be in hospital for ages.
They assessed me very quickly at the Royal London and recognised that the back was broken in 2 places. The ankle was pretty well mullered and that my wrist was broken. Any time I was being rolled, if they were changing the beds or changing clothes and things, I think it was a 3 to 5 person team to roll me really carefully and make sure everything stayed in line. And so when people said, "Oh, well, you've broken your back, we don't know how bad it is yet," suddenly it all makes sense, because I knew broken back, in my understanding at least, meant paralysis, no feeling, no movement. That was kind of it. And so there were so many unknowns. And so mine was partially severed and had random fragments of bone floating around in it and that kind of thing. It wasn't, and still isn't, in a particularly pretty state. But if there are some nerves going through, your body has some potential to do some remapping. But because it was incomplete, there was some scope that some things might come back. No one could give me any kind of picture on how much you might get back or what might come back, but there was a vague potential that something might, and that was about all anyone was willing to tell me. Because actually I made the choice to lose the ankle. There were other options, but actually I felt that the best option that was going to give me the most mobility was always losing the thing that was causing me pain and cutting out of my life.
It was very clear in some points that he was in a lot of pain, and still is in a lot of pain.
I had no idea how far we'd get down the learning to walk process, and so a lot of my rehab was also learning, how do I do this from a wheelchair? How do I learn to live from a chair? I wasn't as keen on sharing the fact that I'd learned how to get onto the toilet with the world, and so I wasn't getting the phone calls going, oh, it's amazing you got on the toilet. You know, that happened when I did something like standing up for the first time, or, you know, making it around the gym with a Zimmer frame. You know, that was what got people excited, but actually a lot of the struggle and the battle was the more deep personal stuff. It felt almost like you're taken back to less than a baby, in a sense, because you're so limited in what your body can do, and that felt infuriating. So these days I work as a personal trainer. I figured I was spending a lot of time in the gym trying to get my body to function the way I wanted it to function, that I might as well spend some of that time in the gym being paid to help other people achieve similar goals. I guess long term I would like to think that I'll reach a place where I'm working more with people going through a rehab experience, and I specialise in some way. I'm back climbing myself as well personally, which is amazing. I love it. It's I guess throughout life climbing was kind of always the favourite sport. Prior to the accident, I would never have described myself as arrogant, but I think now looking back to a degree, I potentially was, because I never believed I needed help with anything. I always believed I could do it by myself, and I always knew that I could find a way to do it. Life's an adventure, and the more you live it, the better. And so, you know, I've got another baby on the way. That's exciting. I'm watching my little boy grow up. That's exciting. I'm getting back to climbing, and you know, that might be that just becomes a hobby that I really enjoy. It might be that I reach a point where I'm winning competitions, and that's potentially, either of those options is exciting.
Seeing Josh go through the stuff he has completely helped me know that, like, there isn't a lot that I can't do, because if Josh can do that, then of course I must be able to.
It's a personal choice, I guess, that I'm gonna do that extra step, I'm gonna make that extra jump, I'm gonna push myself that little bit further. It's not, I'm not gonna let myself be limited, even though, yeah, some mornings I might wake up and feel, you know what, I could use my wheelchair today, that'd be a whole lot more comfy, because it would. But I don't, because I want to push myself that bit harder.